so this is fun. Hey Poke people, Riley the Rad here. I am officially back from the NAIC in Columbus, and I had just an amazing time. My hair is a mess right now. I know I actually forgot to bring a hairbrush for the entire weekend. Then we were gone Thursday through Monday. So I had to fight that nest this morning. The battle's still not over. Anyway, on to Pokemon things. I guess to talk about the main event, I know I built up Weavile a lot and I felt like I was making the clever meta choice, but turns out it was actually an awful choice. I went 1-5-1 before I dropped, which is pretty bad. That's like extraordinarily bad. I was probably last place, like, just to be real. Let's see, first matchup I went against Malamar. Ironically, that was my win. That was my winning matchup, and I lost. And then round 2, I went against Zygarde. Took that game. That was the only game I took. And then for the rest of the weekend, I mostly just played like Zoroark and stuff like that. And despite the number of abilities that they had, I couldn't close it out. I think the reason why Weavile just doesn't really work is because even as a Weavile, you only have 90 HP, so it's a really easy Guzma target. The other issue is that your opponent always gets a heads up on what you're working on, because you put out a Sneasel, attach an energy, like you're giving your opponent a turn to do something about that. You're basically just broadcasting to your opponent like, hey guy, just friendly warning, just a quick heads up, I'm about to blow you the fuck up. Whereas if it was a basic Pokemon and maybe did like only 30 damage times the number of abilities on my opponent's side of the field, it would be a lot better just because you can drop it as a surprise, move it into the active, and hit really hard. Not the case for Weavile, unfortunately, so I think I've learned a lot about Weavile, about maybe not playing Weavile anymore. Yeah, it was a good time. I'm not a super competitive person. I was kind of bummed at how I was doing, but I wasn't like upset or anything. I was honestly just looking forward to the next couple days so I could play side events all day, and that is what I did. One fun thing, if you follow my Twitter, I finally got into some expanded decks, and I built Trevenant. I had a not ideal list that I made out of just like trades that I made at the event, and not having my bulk on me, I just kind of had to throw things together. I was using like the grass Phantoms because I couldn't find anyone with extra Psychic Ascension Phantoms. I had one grass Trevenant from, I think, what set is that? I think Guardians Rising? I forget which set exactly. It's the one that deals damage based on the number of trainers in your opponent's hand. Obviously not the Trevenant that you want to have in the deck, but it was kind of funky. It worked out sort of well on its own, and actually overall, I did really well with it. Like, I played in 3 8-man pods, and then like a big 40-person tournament or something like that with 4 Swiss rounds. 2 of the 8-person pods I took first. I just, it was crazy. The big tournament, I ended up going 2-2 just because my one of my losses was against another Trevenant player, and they actually had like the real deck. They had access to all the cards that I didn't, and I also kind of bricked. Then I ended up losing against an expanded Turtonator Volcanion deck, which was pretty interesting with like Blacksmith and stuff like that. It's fun. I really just bricked that entire matchup. It was also unfortunate that my my Phantoms were grass type, meaning that they were weak to fire, so he could literally just attach a Fighting Fury belt and Shell Trap and just take out my Phantoms. It was really rough. It was not good. I played it out because I was like, I told the guy, I was like, I know I'm not going to win this because it's just, I can't draw. But we still had a good time talking about Expanded and things like that. And I learned a lot about just how the Expanded format works. Like, there were a lot of really nice people there. Honestly, I didn't really come across that many people that are kind of the stereotypical, like, super competitive rude types. There were a few games where I sat next to people that got into some semi-heated spats about just different things, calling over judges and things like that. I don't get that, really. I don't know. I'm not condemning it. It is what it is. I understand why people take things as seriously as they do. It's not me, you know? And it makes me feel awkward to be around. Got to meet actually not a whole lot of people this time. A lot of the people that I hung out with were people from my locals. I got to talk to Sierra like super briefly. I didn't see Purple Cliff like the entire time. Supposedly he was there, but I never saw him. He was probably at the top tables, which is why I didn't see him. Also between rounds, I tended to hang out by like the entrance of the convention center rather than like in the big heat of like the top tables and by all the stages and all that kind of stuff, just because it was too packed over there. I don't know. It's kind of funny. I made the point on my Twitter that I tend to know a lot more about the events that I don't attend, because when I do attend, I just get distracted by other things. I go off and I look at the vendors tables. I go off and do trades with people, hang out with my friends, do side events. Like, I'm not really paying attention to like the big event after I get out on day one. I think because there were so many people here and I was trying to make a clever meta choice, like I was really making a concerted effort here. I feel like this would have been the tournament to make day 2. Absolutely did not, but that's okay. So, if you're not aware, Monday started the reset for CP for the new season, for the 2019 season. So if you guys know, let me know down in the comments. I don't know if that means that the new season is now started, or if there's like a cool off period where for like a few weeks no one gets CP for events and it's just for fun, or if now we're officially in the 2019 season. If you could let me know about that, that would be really great. I'm trying to figure that out. That's what I've heard. I'm having trouble finding official sources. The Pokemon Company is always, they're great, not great at communication sometimes. So anyway, so yeah, expect some haul videos on the channel. We got a whole bunch of cool stuff from the prize wall. Picked up a lot of cards from the vendors, like singles that were really valuable. We just had an amazing time. Unfortunately, Nate was not able to go to this event. We had another friend, Connor, that was going to go and who wasn't able to make it, unfortunately, because of like IRL things going on. So this time around, it was just Brittany, Zach, and I. But yeah, we made it work. It was a blast. So hopefully you guys will check out the channel in the next few days. Keep an eye out for those videos, and we'll chill then. See you guys next time. Boop.